This is 911. Do you have an emergency?
Today on Rescue 911, on the critical list, a doctor must fight for his life.
When I was able to see the x-rays of Dan's spine, I knew that he would never walk again.
In the very hospital he works in. Plus, learn what to do when an emergency operator and a babysitter struggle to save a little boy from choking.
Okay, now listen closely to me. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do.
Jordan had to be safe.
On Rescue 911.
Dr. Dan Caliendo was working on his farm when a bale of hay he was moving, weighing more than a half a ton, broke loose, crushing him under its enormous weight. Off-duty paramedic and friend Jim Schmidt did what little he could for Dan until rescue units could arrive.
John, I need you to take Miss Caliendo's place here and get some support here, will you?
He was in a lot of pain. It surprised me that he was conscious at all, knowing how much these hay bales weigh.
Okay, does this hurt where I'm pushing? Oh, okay, I'll try.
At the time, I was thinking, I wish it was me. I think I could handle the pain myself better than watching my loved one go through it.
Not having ever seen a back look like that, I wasn't sure that there was any form of stabilization that we could do that would give him any hope to salvaging any movement, but we had to try.
Good stabilization. We'll go ahead and move the KED into play.
It really gets you. There's just that knot in your throat because it's someone that you know and that you care about. There's a lot more pressure to keep your cool and do things right, do them the way he taught you.
When we continue,
he was starting to have some difficulty in breathing. It ran through my mind that we've got a person that's going into deep, irreversible shock.
Okay, John's coming to you. Nice and easy, guys. Got it? Got it. This leg.
He was starting to have some difficulty in breathing. It ran through my mind that we've got a person that's going into deep, irreversible shock. We didn't have a moment to lose.
I wanted to go with him really bad on the helicopter. I didn't want to be separated from him at that point. But there wasn't enough room and I couldn't. Dan and I have always been very close. I love him with all my heart. I wouldn't want to live if anything happened to him.
When I saw that helicopter lift off, the very first thought that came to my mind was a little silent prayer that this won't be the last time that I was ever going to see Dr. C.
Dan was taken to the emergency room of HCA Wesley Medical Center, the same place he worked, and put under the care of a team of people who'd known him for years, including trauma surgeon Paul Harrison.
Dan, how you doing? He looked up at me and said, "Paul, I really screwed up this time." And that really floored me. I couldn't think of anything to say in response.
I got it right here. Is it right here, Dan?
When I first felt Dan's chest, it was like feeling a piece of packing material that crackled as you pushed and moved it. The ribs were broken in so many places that it had lost its structural integrity.
X-ray.
T10 and
When I was able to see the x-rays of Dan's spine, there was so much displacement of one bone from another. I knew that he would never walk again.
Dan's son Scott and his daughter Stephanie rushed to the hospital as soon as they heard about the accident.
It was very scary to see my father like that because he's always taken care of me.
And it's him laying there helpless, and there's nothing I can do in the world to help him other than just be there and love him and pray for him.
Nobody knew at that time if he was going to live or die.
I love you. You want something to write with?
I told him that I loved him, and he motioned for something to write with. When he wrote, "I love you" on that pad of paper,
I love you too, Dad.
it put a lump in my throat and brought a tear or two to my eyes, because those words haven't been said between us in I don't know how long.
I know it's a tough call.
He said the nights were really long, and he was in a lot of pain. So his brother Richard and I would take shifts, so one of us would be up with him all night.
It's all of you, half of you, none of you. Dan did not want to live in this condition. He and I spent, 90 gut-wrenching nights arguing over whether he should live or not live, and I just said, whatever it takes, I'm going to see that Dan makes it through this, and if it takes 3 days or 3 weeks or 3 months or 3 years or 30 years, I didn't care.
Okay, and push.
I didn't know whether I was ever going to be able to roll over in bed by myself or whether I'd ever be able to reach over and pick up something off the floor.
See if you can take one arm up and then try to bring the other one up a little bit.
It was very scary.
And what you're starting to do is show some really good...
I can't imagine going through this without my family at my side.
Feel some tightness, and when it feels tight, you can stop there.
A year has passed since the farming accident that changed Dan's life.
I was aware of the danger, and it could have been prevented. For probably 2 weeks after the accident, I really kicked myself for being so stupid.
If my mom wouldn't have been out there with him when it happened, he could have very easily died. It was a miracle that she was there. It saved his life.
The first few months after the injury, I was almost constantly aware of being paralyzed. Everything I did, I kind of thought, should a paraplegic do this, or should I say this if I'm a paraplegic? And I'm losing that. I think I'm a normal person, if I ever was normal. And there's some of my friends will argue about that, but I think I'm getting back to my usual self. Okay. That's probably why you got a fever, got a red ear.
He was back to work in 3 months, which amazed everybody. The first patient he saw was a great dose of medicine for himself.
Hello, Jim, I'm Dr. Caliendo. I've done a lot of things I didn't think I'd be able to do already. Did the pain hit you? We all have our limitations. I had them before my injury. I've got different ones and more now, but they're becoming fewer and fewer as time goes by.
Yeah. I've always been very proud of my dad. Long before he had his accident, I've always thought he was pretty much one of the best guys there ever was.
Oh, could you get the lips?
But I find myself trying to spend more time with him than I did. You just kind of get reminded that, hey, he's not always going to be there, and you better make the most of the time you've got.
I don't know how to describe love. Don't know how to measure it. Mary Jo and I have always been close, but we've just really bonded more than I thought was possible.
With the love that we have for each other, I think we're going to make it. And I'm looking forward to spending the rest of my life with him.
I'm glad you decided to stay here.
Next.
On the hill. Is he breathing at all?
No, he's not even awake.
She said he can't breathe, indicating this is a critical emergency and we're going to have to move quick.
In Calgary, Canada, on August 23rd, 1993, 4-year-old Jordan Penner was playing in his backyard with his best friend, 8-year-old Munden Garland. Jordan's mother, Julie, tried hard to make her house safe and keep her kids protected. But before the day was over, She found out that sometimes it's the smallest things that can pose the greatest threat to a child's life.
There's a 4-year age difference, but Jordan idolizes Munden. Munden's really cool. So when they get together, they always have a really good time.
Jordan, he's my best buddy. One time he said he loved me as a brother, then that sort of pounded my heart, because Jordan's like a brother to me too.
Jordan, I'm going to work now.
I'll see you later. You have a good day.
For a few hours after school each day, Jordan and his younger sister have 14-year-old Terry Lee Stratton for a babysitter.
The kids took to her instantly, and I did too, because she's got this quiet, shy side, and I can relate to that.
I've been babysitting for a long time. I don't remember when I started babysitting for people.
John should be home around 6:30.
Julie told me what they can play with, and then she left.
Jordan went over to the garden. He was starting to pick some peas. I told him, don't eat those peas because they're not ripe yet. And he said, no. He had like 5. He like shoved 5 in his mouth almost. And in the last bite he took, he had a whole handful in his mouth. I thought he was like playing trick because he always plays trick. I said, are you joking? Then he never answered back.
London? Oh my God!
Calgary Paramedic Dispatch.
He can't breathe. Jordan?
Address.
40 Hill.
Is he breathing at all?
No, he's not even awake.
Did he choke?
I don't know. He was outside.
City of Calgary EMS dispatcher Don Sharp took the call for help.
She said he can't breathe, indicating this is a critical emergency and we're going to have to move quick.
Listen, the ambulance is on the way. Now I'm going to tell you exactly what to do until they get there. How old is he?
He's 4.
Okay, now listen closely to me. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. Don't hang up.
Okay, what?
Tell me what happened.
I think he was eating peas. I think he choked on one. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Is he awake at all?
No, his eyes are closed and he's not moving.
Can he breathe at all? Listen carefully to me. Can he breathe at all?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm going to tell you how to help him, okay? Get him as close to the phone as possible. I'm going to
God.
Okay.
He keeps on going.
Okay, now listen closely.
We use a technique called repetitive persistence, and I use a voice control to try to get her to relax.
I'm going to tell you how to do the Heimlich maneuver, okay? Now listen to me, you're going to have to calm down if we're going to help him. Where is he right now?
I was crying, and I was like worried, and I didn't know what to do.
Lay him face up on the floor.
Okay.
Straddle his legs with your legs.
Pardon?
Straddle his legs with your legs, almost like you're sitting on his knees, okay?
Okay.
Put the heel of one hand on the child's stomach, just above his belly button. Do you understand me so far?
Yeah.
Okay. Push quickly down into the stomach 6 times, then check his mouth for an object. Do it right now.
His eyes are open. He won't let me open his mouth.
Did anything come out of his mouth?
No, he won't let me open his mouth.
Okay, so he's clenched down, is he?
Yeah, on his tongue.
Okay. Now I want you to listen very carefully. Okay, put your ear down close to his mouth and nose and feel or listen for any breathing.
Okay. Oh my God.
Now listen very closely. They're coming. Now listen very closely. Is his mouth relaxed at all? Can he open his mouth?
No.
Ma'am? Okay, now listen. I want you to repeat the Heimlich maneuver another 6 times.
Okay.
Do it now. Come right back to the phone.
I wasn't really thinking what was going to happen. It's just what had to happen, that Jordan had to be safe.
Okay. Tilt his head back. Pinch his nose.
Just wait.
Everything we do in dispatch is completely non-visual, and they become my hands and my eyes in the field.
Okay, now I want you to put your mouth over his mouth. Completely cover his mouth with yours and blow 2 soft breaths of air into his lungs. Watch for his chest to rise. Do it now. Okay. Can you feel the air going in? Did you see the chest rise?
I'm not sure. They're here.
Okay. You tell them what happened. They'll take over.
Okay.
You did a really good job, okay? You did a good job. They'll take over now.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
She did a terrific job, but it sounded like it was going to be real close.
I thought he was gonna die. Then I went around to the front, and I was on the fence, started crying because I was really sad.
Calgary EMS Advanced Life Support paramedic Dave Lowry and his partner Roxanne Bergen arrived within 4 minutes of the call.
What's the problem?
Not breathing.
I got almost a tunnel vision because once you see someone that age who's turning blue, you know you don't have very much time.
Okay.
I was thinking that Jordan wasn't going to live, and he was only little, and he didn't get to live his life.
He's not breathing right now. I think it is an obstructed airway.
Okay.
The primary thing I was concerned about was getting an airway.
Around 6 minutes, we get brain damage, and longer than that, you just don't know.
I could see immediately when I looked down into his throat that there was a P in his vocal cords. It was acting like a cork. It wouldn't budge.
It's not going in?
I can't get it with this.
He's
Okay,
not
this isn't
breathing.
working. Roxanne, I need
So then I grabbed the long hollow tube that we put down in your throat to breathe for you. What I did with the tube was, since I couldn't get the pee out, I just pushed it in and went in the lungs.
Okay, we're in.
And started to breathe for him.
I will listen to his chest.
I
Take your
certainly
time.
will.
I think we're in though now.
It's emotional. It's always emotional when kids are involved. They're too young to die. You know, they don't deserve to die like that.
Closer to the hospital, we noticed some posturing, which is where he became stiff and his hands flexed outwards. I really had a terrible feeling inside after seeing Jordan because we always associate posturing with brain damage.
What's his name?
Jordan. At Alberta Children's Hospital, Dr. Ian Mitchell was the pediatric chest specialist on call.
He'd suffered significant oxygen lack to his brain. The breathing tube inserted by the paramedics was maintaining his life with assistance, but he only had one lung, so it was very clear that we had to remove the P very quickly.
I'll come give you a hand.
Okay.
Just giving him a little bit of sedation here. Well, he was in the
They said something about posturing, and as far as I had known, posturing means brain damage. And I thought, okay, if my little boy lives, which would be wonderful. Please, God, let him live. He's going to have brain damage. He's supposed to start school.
The OR's been notified, so they'll be ready for us when we go.
So all I could do was hope. All I could do was think positive. And that was my little guy, and I wanted him back.
Ready?
Jordan was taken into surgery to remove the P from his lungs.
Where is the P? Once I saw the P and put forceps down, I extracted it through the tube. Okay, now I need suction now.
Gonna be better soon.
John Penner joined his wife at their son's bedside.
Everybody's thinking about you.
Julie mentioned something about brain damage. I thought if there was brain damage, he wouldn't remember us. And he wouldn't be basically the same little guy that I've had.
I sang to him, read him a story. John and I stayed with him and talked to him. Told him everybody was thinking about him. And we're all just waiting for him to get better. He was all hooked up and everything, but he opened up his eyes. And he couldn't speak because of these things down his throat. And he looked right at me, and he mouthed the words, he mouthed, "Mom, I'm thirsty." And it was really amazing. It was like having him, giving birth to him all over again. It was such a good feeling. Go catch up to Sis. Bet you can't catch her.
4-year-old Jordan Penner was released from the hospital without any sign of brain damage.
And there's a big dinosaur in the bushes over here. I can't believe it ever happened in the first place. But I'm thankful that we had Terry act the way she did. I think she did great.
She called 911 right away. If it weren't for her, I don't know if Jordan would be here right now.
Everyone was telling me I did a good job, and I feel I helped, but I'm not the hero.
Even though she didn't have CPR or first aid knowledge, she did the best thing she could if she simply called 911 and got the system going. And that's what saved Jordan.
It's made me appreciate everybody and everything. It's made me really nervous around small heart candies and garden vegetables.
I hate peas.
I think the big lesson is just how important the children are. We almost lost one, and the realization of just how really important he is hit me.
Mr. Shapiro, step out of the car, please.